Hey, it's Mission Monday here at the Self Love Leader, and welcome. So happy that you joined me. If for some reason you're new here, let me just say welcome and let me tell you a little bit about who I am and what we're about. I'm Coach Cindy. I help women in the last half of their lives make it the best half of their lives by getting out on their soul's calling and stopping hiding their light. Today, we're going to talk about something that is going to come around to being warm and fuzzy. So don't just slide to the next video once I tell you what we're going to talk about today, because this is important, not just for me to share this with you, but also for you, because I know that you have gone through your own tornadoes. I know you've gone through your own chaos, and we've all gone through trauma, all part of this human life. So today, Mission Monday is called Chaos, Trauma, and the Tornado Years. So put your seatbelt on. Don't get lost in this spinning we're going to talk about, and let's get started. Okay, so here's the story that goes along with this name that I came up with. And this is a true story, and it's my story. 5 years ago, I felt like my life was in a tornado and I wasn't going to be landing over the rainbow in Oz. I felt like I was only going to be in the tornado, and I was holding on for dear life, just trying to breathe through the struggles that my life had brought me at that time. And the first thing that it brought me was loss. And that's the loss of somebody who I very much so loved. He was my son, not my son, but he was my bonus son. And if any of you are parents, you know that it doesn't mean if a child wasn't yours, born to you, doesn't mean you can't love them unconditionally as if they were your child. And so I lost my son to a traumatic death where he had an overdose in my home. It was it was heartbreaking, and I won't go through all the little steps and challenges that brought, but I will just say, even 5 years later, just saying it out loud makes my eyes fill with tears, because there's still some trauma that goes along with losing somebody that you love. I'm not sure if I'll ever be over with it. That's the truth. Maybe it'll just be carried with me as I go through this life. The second thing that happened was about a year later, I realized that the love of my life, who I still love very much, wasn't able to be connected with me in a way that I needed. And so after 18 years of marriage, I got a divorce. It wasn't a fun time. My heart was broken from losing my son. My heart was broken then from losing my husband. And then my heart actually broke because the following year I had a heart attack. And putting these three chaos, trauma, and tornadoes spinning together left me in a time in my life where I felt completely empty and I wasn't sure I was going to get back from it. And I got to tell you, even, years later after this happened, I still sometimes go through these waves of feeling like I'm in that tornado. And so, what I wanted to do today was talk about, what do you do when you're in the tornado? I'm going to tell you what I did, and I'm going to tell you when I work with people and they tell me about their tornado times in their life, how we get through it. So hang on here. I'll be right with you. Sorry, I had to stop the video. I was a little emotional, as you can imagine. It's a hard story to tell, quite honestly. But here's the deal. It doesn't mean that there hasn't been light at the end of the story. And that's where we're going to go to today. So, some days I really felt like I wasn't going to make it through it. I felt like there was just this story and the energy of this story. And I was so very attached to it that switching off that tornado, jumping off into a better life was a little difficult. But here is what I learned. At some point, you have to recognize you're in grief and ask yourself these questions. And I wrote myself some notes here because I didn't want to forget them. And here's a couple of them. And that is, we have to stop in the moment and recognize and say out loud to ourselves, to another human, to anybody that will listen, maybe a counselor, maybe a coach. And that is, I feel overwhelmed. I feel scared because it's so dark that I'm scared. I am heartbroken and I am grieving. We've all heard that truth sets us free. Well, here's what I know is once you speak your truth, you heal way faster than staying in the denial and the darkness. And when I'm working with other people, I often share this story because I'd like people to know, look, I've gone through it. This is one tornado in my life. If you're like me, you've probably had 10 of them. And at some point, we start speaking our truth out loud, and that lends to our next walk to healing and freedom from the story and the tornado. Don't ask in the middle of your tornado, why is this happening? Because the truth is, sometimes the chaos is what creates our meaning. And let me share this with you. Because of this tornado in my life, I stopped hiding my light. I've gotten out on the mission that I am here for. And I now help others do the same thing. So sometimes these challenges are really what creates our story that brings us full circle, not in a tornado, but full circle to the love that we are here to share. And so, what I'm hoping today is that you will recognize your tornadoes that you've been through and then voice out loud, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm struggling. I'm depressed. Whatever it is that's going on with you, don't hold it in. The darkness only gets out when you open the door and let the light in. So I hope whatever challenge you're going through, that you can get to a state of calm and a state of love. And if you're really struggling, let someone know. You can put it in the comments. You know what, honey? I'm really struggling. And here's why I'm struggling. And just let it out and let somebody know. Or find a friend, a therapist, a coach, somebody that can help you and support you. And remember, traumas and tornadoes can become your story of survival. I've survived. I've worked with many other women that have survived their own challenges, and you will too.